Okay.
Don, welcome. Thanks for coming in and sharing your experiences with us. I promise I'll be brief. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, you know, I think like many people here, I'm divorced. I've been divorced for like 9 years. And I'm a psychologist. I still work part-time and have a pretty big horse business. Usually this time of year, it's February, I'm in Florida. So I come to Odessa in the Ukraine is sort of, you know, I don't know, a big step into the cold weather, yeah.
What really brought you to Anastasia?
Well, I had, I guess there are a couple things. I mean, I had friends and people that I knew that had met women in the Ukraine, and 5 of them were married women from the Ukraine, and they were all very, very nice women and nice people. So I started looking into, you know, how to go about coming to the Ukraine, and Anastasia was the most, looked like the most sort of dynamic, biggest agency to deal with this kind of thing, and had really the most resources as far as dealing with these things. So that was how I got in touch with Anastasia.
Okay, so but you were sort of happy with, because I recognize you were on one of my other tours. So
yes, yeah. I mean, this is my second tour. Actually, I went to the tour just before this one, so I came back pretty fast, I guess, after that tour. So,
are you looking really for someone special? Or are you just here having fun?
Well, for sure, when you come here, you'll have fun. If you don't have fun, you know, you need to figure out if there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? But I think I'm like many men here. I tell people this after my first trip here. I was pretty ambivalent about a long-term relationship. But lots of times people talk about the trip, the women, and so forth. What I think is really important is how the trip affected me, my first trip. And it affected me in a way that made it so I really thought there was a possibility of maybe me having a long-term relationship with a woman, which I really, to be honest with myself, didn't believe before I came here.
Really?
Now I do believe that. But I attribute that to the kind of women there are here in the Ukraine.
So the tour is a positive effect?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Good. So I needless to say, you know, what was, when you picked the Ukraine the first time, why the Ukraine?
Well,
any special reason?
Well, because because these 5 people that I knew who had married women from the Ukraine,
okay.
Yeah, and they were all very nice, intelligent, and beautiful women.
So you've been to Odessa several times. What do you think of the city of Odessa?
Oh, I love Odessa, and I love the people of Odessa. It's very, like, you come here, it's a very friendly place. It's a place where even if you don't speak any Ukrainian or Russian, people are very helpful. They're you know, it's just great to go to a place where everybody is they smile, they're helpful, they're very nice.
The socials, the atmosphere of the club, did you like it? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. Sometimes it's, I suppose if there's one thing I would say, it'd be great if you had like a room you could go that was easier to kind of talk, because there's dancing and so forth. But I think the clubs are fine, yeah.
Have you met anybody special on this tour?
Well, I think, you know, I have a couple people in mind. The same thing happened after my last tour. That is, I decided I would try to meet people, and then when I would get home, I would try to sort of think about it, sort it out in my mind, and see where I wanted to go from there. So I'm still sort of in that kind of situation, I think.
So what do you think about your hotel? You're away from home, and what do you feel about the hotel?
Oh no, the hotel's great. It's a great location, easy to get to and from. They have you know, all the amenities of any hotel that you would, high quality hotel in the U.S. And I find that one of the things that really is a really fun part of the hotel is people hang around the restaurant here. They hang around at night. They sometimes eat supper and breakfast and so forth. Everyone talks, sort of plans the day. You know, figures how to do things together during the week.
So the camaraderie.
Oh yeah, the camaraderie with the men is great. I mean, the relationships with the men to me is a big part of the trip. You know.
How about the Anastasia staff? The girls help for everybody's...
Oh yeah, they're all great. I mean, whatever you want them to do, they'll try to do it to the best of their ability. And usually, if there's any kind of a problem, it's not because of their willingness to try to help out any way I can. It's either some kind of communication problem or something. So I really they're just great. I can't say enough about them.
Any communication problems between you and the staff that you need to sometimes have help with that?
No. I mean, they'll speak very good English. There's a system in place to deal with setting up dates, contacting people, and so forth, and they're really good at following through on it.
You said you took part in the tours and everything. Is there anything you can see that you would improve the tours by doing anything different?
Well, I went on the tours both times, and the woman that did the tours this time, she's very nice and so forth. But there was an older woman on the previous tour. I've forgotten what her name was, but I just thought that she was fantastic. I mean, because not only did she give you sort of historical information, she gave you some insights into the political situation, at least the way she saw them, which was pretty interesting. She had a great sense of humor, I thought, just cracked me up all the time, and was willing to talk about, for someone coming from the U.S., she was willing to talk about it in the sort of political history of the area, and had a historical perspective on it that I think maybe younger people might not, and was not terribly worried about being politically correct, which I really appreciated coming from the U.S. Yeah, she was very honest about it, and honest about things that some people are a little reluctant to talk about. You know, the Stalin-induced famine, which they call the Big Hunger, and so forth. I spent quite a little bit of time talking to her about that and how harsh that was and the politics that surrounded it and so forth. Things like that I thought she had a tremendous insight into.
So needless to say, you'd come back again.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Yeah, in a heartbeat.
You're having a great time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything, if you were speaking to the men in the United States, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, the obvious thing is before you make any decision about what woman you are going to be involved with, for sure you owe it to yourself to come here and meet the women in the Ukraine, because I have some friends that when I go home I'll definitely encourage to come here, because I think that many of the relationships that they have in the sort of social, cultural context of the U.S. are not very good. And I think that the women here have a different perspective on family and on marriage and their relationships with men. I think there's much more respect for men in this culture, particularly if you are a good person. I think that you, as a man, you're highly valued by the women here. And so if you are that kind of person, I think this is definitely the place to come.
Ron, thank you very much for
Yeah, thank you, Walter.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks.